This is part 2 of the Arrow TV show that I'm reviewing. Unfortunately, I ran out of time to talk about the characters. And it's the characters that really give this show very, the characters is the key difference between this show and Smallville and any other CW show. Because the way Arrow portrayed their characters was so good. Like, Smallville took about 2 or 3 seasons to really give the characters enough of a foundation to do half the stuff they did. Because I am comparing Arrow to the CW, to Smallville. And I sort of have to, because Arrow is such a better story than Smallville was. And don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing Smallville by any means. It's just Smallville's characters were weaker in the first 5 seasons. Actually, no, I tell a lie. Season 4 was quite good. But certainly within the first 3 seasons, these characters they weren't as strong as how Arrow Season 1 gives the characters. Like, Stephen Amell played a fantastic Oliver Queen, And the reason why this is so compelling was because Oliver Queen, because Stephen Amell played so many different parts of Oliver Queen, He plays the present day Oliver who has to deal with returning to life, having been away for 5 years, Oliver has been stranded on an island for 5 years. He's been tortured. He's been, he's had to fight a mysterious enemy that we don't know much about. He's had to kill people, and he's had to, do many morally ambiguous things. And he has to cope. He has to reintegrate himself back into society, back into back into the lifestyle he used to have. And how does a person cope with that? And he has to deal with his sister, with his mother, with his stepfather, and all these different components that really are interesting, and that's just one piece of what Stephen Amell plays. Stephen Amell also plays the Hood, or the Vigilante, because he's not known as the Green Arrow in this story. And he saves people people's lives, and he's trying to stop the undertaking and these groups of bad guys from killing people. And then finally, he plays the man on the island who is becoming the vigilante and the present day Oliver. You know, and he plays that part so well, and it's really good. You know, and Justin Hartley could never match Stephen Amell, because how Smallville's portrayal was, you know, how Justin Hartley in the Smallville universe plays his role is he's a vigilante and he's a playboy, you know, and it makes the Smallville Green Arrow, although I like the character, less complex. And I'm a sucker for complex stories, I just am. We then have Dinah Laurel Lance, who played by Katie Cassidy, who plays her part very well. And quite a number of references are given for the Black Canary. Now, whether or not we'll see Black Canary remains to be seen. But yeah, she was awesome, you know. She's a strong character that sort of, you know, she is a strong character, but I felt that, she started to become too much of that love interest that I think holds a lot of female development, you know, because she's a strong character, but she also has to cope with this love triangle, you know, between Oliver and Tommy Merlin. And for me, that problem is more towards the 3 episodes, because, you know, she's too much of the love interest. But I think there is still hope for that character, and I'm looking forward to seeing her in that role. Tommy Merlin was less interesting in the first half, but in the second half he was amazing. You know, Colin Donnell played an excellent Tommy Merlin, and sort of his relationship with his father, Malcolm Merlin, and, you know, sort of what's it called? The Dark Archer legacy sort of mirrored that of Harry Osborn and the Green Goblin legacy. And a lot of us thought that was the way they were going to go. And also the complex relationship that Malcolm and Tommy have sort of mirrors that of Lionel and Lex's relationship in Smallville. Apart from, this is 10 times better. Because Tommy isn't straight up evil. And because in Smallville, Lex did morally ambiguous things all the time. So it became natural for viewers to see him that way. But Tommy doesn't, and Tommy sort of falls into that darker path by his own choice. You know, no one made him do this, but you know, certain beliefs and certain ideas that he gets into his head lead him down this dark path. And, you know, it's so compelling to see. Because, yeah. And then David Ramsey as Diggle was awesome. He played a fantastic role as Diggle, who also had another complex story, because he had his own villain to face, you know. He had his own demons to confront in the form of Deadshot, who killed his brother. You know, and he sort of has to deal with that as well. Willia Holland as Thea Queen, or Speedy, was less compelling for me, as she didn't have much character development. And quite a lot of the season, she was very, very whiny. But when she started dating Roy Harper, I think she got a bit better. But it still didn't do enough to compel me. Finally, we have... No, not finally. We also have Susanna Thompson as Moira Queen. Who was also a very interesting character, and sort of her part that she plays in with The Undertaking was very interesting. Stay tuned for part 3 as I finish off the characters and give you my overall opinions. Bye!